Hey, good morning, Joe and Diane. I was playing around a little bit and created a new version of this, and I wanted to give you a couple of options. One of the things I did, again, this is just basically the same basic concept, but in this case, I've made like an overview dashboard, and the way this would work is all your owners would be here, and I would simply click that owner, and I would go directly to that sheet. So when you end up with a lot of sheets at the bottom, this would be handy. And I could always come back to the overview. And then, if I wanted to see Joe's, I go to Joe's and I can see that. So that's just one little idea. Having sort of a dashboard kind of shows you all of your different, the status here by owner, kind of make a little pivot table and chart of that. And then on this page, it's a status page. And basically, with this, I could look at pending to drop down, in process, or in this case, I think the other one I had was urgent. So then I could actually take a look at each one of those. And again, one of the things that I did differently here, change this a little bit, is I moved the link over to the left hand side of this instead of the right hand side. Again, put this note up here. You can't edit anything, so this is some training for your staff. Everything is done through the form, and so if I take a look at the data, and by the way, I did fix the data here. Let me just widen that out a little bit. So this is the data that comes in, and you can see where the data has been edited. If I go to Joe's and let's say I want to edit this particular one, it pulls up the form, and let's say all I wanted to edit here was, the stuff that you guys seem to be editing is this information. What I noticed is when you're working in here, if you hit a couple carriage returns, and then put in a date, in this case 5/4, however you'd want to do that, we have fixed this again. Okay, whatever, right? So that's what you're coming in and you're adding that kind of data, and you submit. My building. Oh, I had readjusted some of these buildings, so there's too many buildings in there. I wanted to talk to you about that. We need to clean that up. That was a list that probably wasn't right. So then, if we take a look at this, and this is the current one. It's building 3. This is the one I just edited, and you can see we have fixed this again on 5/4. Notice if you put this carriage returns in there, you can kind of really track when people have made changes to the description. So again, here's my overview. This is how many pending, in process, urgent, kind of give us an overview of where the projects are going. This is a status page where I can take a look at just the ones that are pending and so forth and so on. And then each person would have their own page. As we said, all the data is always here, and you really never edit anything. Honestly, all of the work is done through a form. So you're either, in this case, creating a new project, with this link here, or you're editing the current projects and getting it to look like that, and we'll conditionally format. So that's option number 1. Option number 2 is to keep people from working on the spreadsheet at all, which we're kind of doing with this, but this is a different way of doing it. It's a data studio project, and the way this would work, basically you can see if I can take a look at all of this stuff. This last one, let me just refresh this because I might have added some data in there. So we can see that I had just updated this one. So what I can do with this is just take a look at Joe's. Okay, and now I'm just looking at Joe's, or I could just take a look at Diane's, and this is how people could come in and look at their own projects. They can click this link to create a new project, and that opens in a new tab for them. I had that opened up there twice. And then if I go back and take a look at all owners, then I can see this little chart's going to give me a list of all the owners, how many projects they have, total projects, urgent, pending, and process. So this can be a standalone data studio project, but it could also be something that we put on a Google site. And then all you do is share the Google site with your staff. they create new projects, they edit their projects, and they can look at that. You can filter and sort all this based on status. I can just look at my urgent ones and go, okay, what needs to happen with this? Oh, I need to update this one. It's urgent. And then there's one from Joe and one from Dan and so forth. So yes, this is how we could go ahead and do this. So I wanted to share that with you. And when we talk next week, give you some more things to think about. Either use the Data Studio interface to do everything, or basically use the spreadsheet to do everything, or a combination thereof, because the Data Studio project could be used for your staff, but the two of you could take a look at this, and we can slice and dice this data in a lot of different ways. Right now we have a limited data set, but once we have a full data set, we can look at all of that. So anyway, keep that in mind. It's a way to go ahead and just work on this. So see what you think.